Chapter 29. Sam threw all his stuff near the door. He had room service delivered at 9 p.m. They brought him 2 steaks and a liter of water. Earlier, he tried on the major station body armor. It was thinner than any Kevlar he had seen. He liked the medium size because it formed to his body better. Basically, it moved well and fit under his clothes nicely. It was a miracle he got this complete set. His father probably donated money for it considering the reception he received from the chief. After dinner, he washed up, prayed hard, breathed, and stretched one more time. He was in bed by 10 and set his alarm for 4 a.m. He wanted no chances to miss the wake-up because he wanted to get back on his normal schedule. He wanted the remnants of this hidden agenda to peak. Sam tried to make a deal with his suggested warnings. He told Leonard he was giving him something from the companies, told Jill to give the money back, and Steve to back off. His last offer or warning would be given. Sam thought about his weakness and inability to confront. Somehow his grandmother pointed out his faults with all his relationships. It was his fault. It led to his father having to hold his hand, and that sitting in a chair led to history starting at a later date. Because it always turned out the same. Stephen woke up at 3:30. He got up right away to use the bathroom. He finished dressing and walked for 5 minutes to wake up. He kept his shoes on and got back into his sleeping bag. He was ready. He had packed all his stuff. His phone was still on silent, while his headphones were set on high volume. The headphones were connected wirelessly to one of the cameras. Stephen grabbed his remote and turned on the gear. He could hear everything clearly. He set his binoculars down in front of him to the right. Stephen couldn't believe he was here. Sam slept well. He rose before his alarm and texted Arthur. They agreed on a plan for the next quarter. Sam told him to not get comfortable. Arthur, which means your shit is about to be shaken. He started moving and loaded the Jeep. Sam wasn't going to eat until after the meeting. He drank water. He prepared for the worst because their path was not his. Sam drove the 20 minutes to the falls. He was on time. He would arrive at 5 and walk the perimeter just to let Stephen know he knew. Sam prayed he wasn't there. He planned to drive up to the platform, get dressed, and practice the different outcomes that might occur. 3 different paths of Steve, Jill, or Leonard shooting or not. He had his pistol for Steve, which was one path. Jill or Leonard would be another. Jill shooting him was a low probability, but Leonard shooting him and him falling off the falls was the highest. Stephen would suffer with any of these paths. Sam hated himself for letting things get this far. Sam changed his mind and texted Stephen, I know. Wherever you are, stay put. Tape your mouth shut as a reminder to keep quiet. If your mother attacks me verbally or other, I will forgive her. I will be okay no matter what happens. I wish you stayed at home. Sam continued to text. Beware of another coming from the southeast. He is dangerous. But I am 100% sure your mother will be okay. If bullets fly, remember to remain quiet and let me handle it. Also, if I go in the river, I won't have a phone for a while. Sam drove directly up the hill. The road traversed the side of the hill and was around a quarter of a mile. He had 2 hours to check things out before he would call Steve and Jill with a location. ETA, or estimated time of arrival, was 7:40. If Sam thought ahead, he could have brought a claymore mine to blow Leonard to smithereens. But that would have been too evil and premeditated. Jill's future would be contingent on her reaction today. There was a good chance Steve would be nice and Leonard never showed. Simple exchange would be optimal. A shot to the face would be a disaster. Sam double-checked the science, physics, human nature, and math of the simulation. He was good. Sam came to a stop about 25 feet from the platform. He assumed Stephen would be magnetic north. Sam looked in that direction. Nothing. He walked 50 yards east and looked. Nothing. Sam didn't walk to the west because there was too much brush and the river was there. Sam grabbed a telescopic fishing pole that extended out to 15 feet. He had a 100-foot line with a weight attached to the end. Sam lowered the line over the platform until it touched the water. He brought back the pole. He marked the line by sticking on a piece of duct tape. He grabbed the line. Sam measured the height of the drop by looping the line around his elbow and back to his hand. One loop was 3 feet. He counted 19 rotations or 57 feet. Sam dropped the line again to measure how deep the water was. When the weight settled on the bottom, Sam grabbed the line near the end of the pole. He looped the line around his arm again until he got to the tape. The depth of the water was 18 feet. Sam had hoped for 20. Sam checked his hand. Next step was to get dressed. He stripped down to his red underwear and slipped on his protective underwear for hip and butt coverage. His hip was still hurting from yesterday. Slowly, he pulled out the body armor with a Ziploc bag duct taped over his heart from the bag. Sam couldn't believe his luck. This armor had to be $4,000. It was sick. He put on the armor and strapped on a flotation pad to his back. He put on socks, pants, belt, the white bloodstained shirt, and his black Kevlar hat. He squatted a few dozen times and arched back. He took his pistol and holster and put it around his waist toward the back. The practice of the what-ifs started. Sam ran to different locations around the platform while drawing his weapon. He stood for a moment to remember to do subtle directives. This was important when trying to sell something to a stubborn person. He took out a harness, put it on, and attached the end to the platform railing. He flipped backwards over the railing to then catch himself on the platform. The last 10 times he tried, it was perfect. He stored the harness in the Jeep. Sam got in the Jeep and drove it back to the highway. Sam turned right and parked at a parking spot near the river. Sam jogged up the hill with a small bag next to the gorge back to the top. On the jog, he realized he wouldn't be able to retrieve any equipment he set up. At the top, Sam walked 20 feet east. He checked the angle. It was perfect. He set the camera down, double-checked the view, and turned it on. In the bag, he grabbed a digital recorder, turned it on, and placed it on the ground near where Steve would park. He walked back to the camera and talked to it for about 10 minutes. Sam texted Steven, "You have any cameras set up?" Steven didn't have a choice to answer, "Yes." "Boy, I always said you were smarter than me. Wait an hour after the meeting without exception, then collect my gear with yours. Again, do not move or come out into the open for an hour. During the event and any mayhem, do not help anyone. Leave any of your gear that's unnecessary. Send all files to me when you get home. Anybody comes from any gunshots, retreat and make your way back to the road and forget the gear." Sam called Steve and gave him the location. "Steve, your drugs are exactly where I put them. Be calm and we can start over. Remind Jill, she will have to compromise." After the call, Sam laid down on the platform to clear his head. He yelled into the air, "I love you." He heard his son yell back, "I love you too." Chapter 30. Earlier, Stephen was lying face down when he heard a vehicle. He must have dozed off. The car was a light-colored Jeep. He laughed when his father got out of a pink Jeep. The ribbing he was going to give his father after his punishment was over would be legendary. Stephen got fearful when his father looked directly at him and moved around looking at the top of the hill. His father looked satisfied and went about his business. Stephen shifted into study mode, watching his father do his tests, dressing, and moving around. He waited a while after his father drove the Jeep to the highway near the river. Stephen felt better when he returned. This changed when his father texted him. He responded and moved his binoculars to his left side. Stephen knew what to do. He would have to keep watch and respond to his father with any enemy movement from the east or southeast. Shit, his father was right about a variable changing everything. Red became more important. He double-checked to make sure his gray duct tape was in his bag. Steve loaded their stuff. He reminded Jill that he just wanted his drugs to move on. He assured her that he would not use his gun on Sam. Sam said you would have to compromise. I think he meant it. "Steve, don't tell me what to do. I am so sick of you, Jill." Steve didn't want to talk to her ever again, but that didn't fit into his plan to see his son. He decided to shut up and wait for his stuff. They accidentally drove by the fall's entrance. Steve couldn't stop laughing after he saw a pink car and realized Wanda's vehicle was a pink Jeep. He backed up and pulled off the road. Steve started driving up and stopped when he saw Sam put up his hand. Sam turned around and walked to the railing of the platform. Steve noticed the gun on his lower back. Sam turned around and leaned on the railing. He had his hands up on the top bar to reach for his gun or take cover. Sam waited for the two to get out. Steve was telling her to hold tight while they made a deal. Jill didn't look stressed at all, just a little pissed off. When they advanced a few feet in front of his car, Sam held up his left hand. "That's far enough." Steve said, "No problem." Jill yelled, "Who the fuck is Wanda?" Sam thought for a second. "I guess that trumps the blood on his shirt." Sam ignored her. Steve was on the right and Jill stood on the left. Sam detected movement just over Steve's left shoulder in the woods. His phone vibrated. Sam checked it really quick. Steven said, "Blonde guy coming east in front of you." Sam took a step to the left to be hidden from Leonard's field of vision. With less knowledge of Sam knowing he was here, the closer he would get. Probably on the right side of the Charger that was slightly out of view. Jill would be out of the field of fire. When the time was right, Sam would move into fire by stepping 2 steps to the right. Sam caught the fact that he didn't put blood on the back of the shirt. Hopefully Leonard wasn't close enough to see that blunder. Jill couldn't help herself. Sam, you're bleeding. Let's start there. Jill, why would you continue to stay with him when you knew he shot me? Sam, I don't remember anything. Steve told me he hurt you, but I didn't see it. There it is. Why would you stay with him if he hurt me? Especially when I got hurt in the past helping you. Steve, why is she with you? Sam, I paid her $4,000 to help me. Jill, we have money and I give you anything you ask for. I know we do, and I know you do. She started crying. So, the money has to be yours. What is that? Before we go on, Steve, you cool if I give you your money back, since my life is worth more than that. Steve held with it, yeah. Jill yelled back, he's not getting his money back. Sam started to bow and shake his head. He knew in the past this would push her buttons. Plus, this covered himself from someone shooting him in the head. Steve, take that gun of yours and set it between you and Jill. Steve pulled it out and set it on the ground. Steve, you want to shoot me? Sam, never going to happen. The guy hung me in the air, threw me in the car, and told Jill she was sick in the head. I'm not doing it. Sam stated, but you would let Jill do it. Probably. Jill, pick up the gun. She reached down, picked it up, and held it at her side. Steve, take out that knife and make her shoot me. He started to grab for his knife. Sam screamed like he was possessed. Touch her, I will burn your bones right here. Steve must have had a flashback of Sam's father because he threw the knife aside and stepped back. Steve, sit on your passenger side headlight. Jill, I'm putting Steve's money aside. You ready to make amends with me? Yes, I'll do anything. I'm sorry. Well, we got Steve's money. That sounds like a conspiracy. That is enough to make me hate you, but I still love you. You ready? I'm ready. Steve's money is going back. We have so much money, it is sick. And don't even talk until I'm finished. I pay you $30,000 of my money to give Arthur back his money. You don't need his money because I gave what you asked for. But you still haven't given any back. Since you haven't followed through, I'm taking my money back. I'm taking my money. It's not yours to keep. If I had to go to jail, would you give the money back? Yes. You are full of shit, Jill. The software you stole is Kane property. So, I'm going to jail because I can't send you to jail. Sam, I watched you work on that for years. Jill, don't be stupid. Kane commissioned me to prove a theory. $100,000 in jeopardy because of you. But the thing, Jill, I'm a Kane and Arthur's boss. You are not his boss. He makes more than you. Yeah, and what did that information cost you? Information of Arthur telling you his salary instead of mine. Last December, I allowed you that transgression because I loved you. You met me at a bar I owned and still own. I own other companies. I paid $1 million to be a partner at Kane. I never told you because it doesn't matter how much money I have. It's the money that you have. I still don't trust you. Sam knew he had to close. He stepped to the right 2 steps. Jill started to raise her arm. You are not taking my money. Steve, go get your dope. It's under the back seat in your trunk. Jill aimed. Jill, your son deserves 2 fathers. Jill was heaving. She was crying so hard. She fell to the ground and dropped the gun as Steve opened his trunk. Sam bowed his head and was shot in the chest. A red hole appeared on his white shirt. Sam did his backflip slowly and grabbed the deck. Sam saw Jill look up to watch him go over. She was coming. She looked over the railing and grabbed Sam's arm when he reached toward her. She could see he was shot in the heart and his left arm was limp. Jill, help me up before I die. She let him go. When Jill turned away, Sam did a cannonball before he hit the water. When he hit, Sam made his body go backwards to slow his descent. He hit the bottom in 1 second on his padded device and fucking weapon. It hurt. His body was limp from the shock. He floated to the surface. He pressed on the bag to release the mixture into the water. When he came to the surface, he slowly flipped to his back. He watched Jill came back to make sure he was dead. She had made her decision. Money over him. Sam heard the charger start up and leave. He closed his eyes and started crying before the river began taking him downstream. He thought it was the river. He opened his eyes to see a pencil mustache curled up at the ends. It was Bruno breathing in his face. It still looked gay. Sam was going to start calling him Domingo Felipe until he shaved the dolly stash off. Leonard's plan went flawless. He creeped up to the hideous yellow charger. Sam was on his soapbox asking to get shot. He heard Steve whining like a baby saying he was afraid to shoot Sam. Man, if the wife followed through, that would have been perfect. But he knew he would have to do it himself. Sending Steve back to get his drugs worked for him. When Leonard shot Sam using the Portland gun from Steve's apartment, Steve would think Jill shot him for that 1 second he needed. Leonard squeezed the trigger when Steve opened the trunk. When he saw red, Leonard made his way to the back of the car. Leonard dropped a set of car keys on the car seat. He heard Steve say, "Oh shit." That was the key for Leonard to grab him from behind and shoot him under the jaw. One quick move sent Steve's body into his open trunk. His body landed on a plastic sheet on top of a large body bag. Leonard placed these in Steve's trunk the night before. Leonard picked up his skull cap off the ground and threw it in with the gun. He zipped Steve up and closed the trunk lightly. He grabbed the keys from the trunk lock. Leonard noticed Jill was looking over the railing. He did a low crawl run to the edge of the woods using Steve's car to block his exit. Chapter 31. When Jill left in the car, Leonard decided to follow her. She went straight to the airport. Leonard was thinking in his head, she wasn't very good at this. But who cares? She would have life insurance money and he would mop up for her, because it saved his bacon. Leonard returned his car rental and walked to the parking garage. He decided to walk up to the ticket machine and grab a ticket. The bet was she left a ticket, not realizing that a ticket would help in the investigation of a dead body, or that she was smart enough to take the ticket with her. He thought she was scatterbrained enough to put the ticket in her purse. Leonard decided to take the elevator to the top floor and walk down until he saw Steve's car. He opened the trunk and closed it a little tighter. He wanted to check the door. It was open with the keys in the ignition and no ticket. A few minutes later, he was on his way to New York City. Steven peeled the tape off his face and cried the whole hour he waited. He heard the Charger, another car, and the Jeep leave through his headphones. He was relieved that his parents were okay, but Steven wished he could call his father. Steven wasn't ready to handle this. He was in shock from what happened to his real father. He knew one thing. Hidden money was better somehow. Steven's alarm went off. It woke him up. He was late, so he called Chris to let her know he was coming. Steven got up. He threw all the branches he broke off further into the woods. He rolled up his tent and sleeping bag separately, placed them in a plastic bag under some vegetation. He marched down the hill with his empty knapsack and his trash. He retrieved the recorder and the cameras. Steven looked at the gun on the ground. He picked that up. He dug a hole and buried it on the way to the road. By the bottom of the hill, Steven's head was filled with swear words at his mother. Realistically, he was going to have to confront her. Jill grabbed her purse and left the car as it was. She couldn't think and didn't know what to do. Steve took off after shooting Sam. She should have called the police right there. Walking inside the airport, she realized she was going home without Sam to Steven. Her life was over with money sitting in her account if she called the police. Her coming home empty-handed, she would lose Steven. Sam borrowed Bruno's phone after the hour Steven was supposed to wait. He didn't want Steven going nuts on his mother prematurely, and he was worried about his son. Sam wanted to reorganize Steven's thoughts before everyone's life burned to the ground. Dad, son, don't wrap your mind around this. The man that started this whole thing will be going to jail. What about Mom? While I'm getting this guy arrested, we will talk every day. Your mother will be fine. It's hard to connect everything when so much is going on. I changed your flight to New York City. It leaves at 3. Tim will pick you up at LaGuardia Airport. You will lay low at your grandfather's until I talk to your mother. I'll make it better. Your mother booked a flight to Syracuse. I'm assuming she didn't want to be with Steve. Dad, Steve is dead. I saw the whole thing. Shit, I didn't think of that. Okay, do not watch any camera stuff. I want him to send it to me. We will be somewhat back together in a few days. I'm sorry for my part in this. Dad, you injured from the fall? Roughly no. Probably some hip problems for a few days. Now, I love you. Tell me everything after I was shot. Steven hopped into Chris' car. Chris, I'm sorry. Can you make a $150 day of this? Do you have time? I need to be at the airport by 1. Sure. What should we do for 3 hours? The fanciest steak restaurant you have in the city, and I need your business card. Well, Steven, I just got these from your big tip yesterday. Thank you, and here you go. Steven took the card and put it in his wallet. He decided he would see Chris again someday. His network of connections was just starting. Steven pulled out the camera that showed the blonde guy in action. He downloaded the file to his phone and sent it to his father's internet storage service. The best equipment made a difference when it came to working with large files. It finished exporting a few minutes before they arrived to eat. He was hungry. The text to his father was short. Didn't watch, expediting the info to you at Dropbox. Driving this loud man-whore vehicle was obnoxious. After 2 hours, Leonard arrived in Memphis. He turned left. He decided to drive to Kansas City instead of the big city. He knew Kansas. The body would easily be gone, and he could store the car until he got rid of it. Every day it took to get to Portland, he would lose money. Leonard booked a flight to Portland from Kansas City for the morning. The 10-hour drive and delivery couldn't come soon enough. Stephen wanted to talk to his father one more time before they ate lunch. He ordered his food and excused himself. "Hi, Stephen, you okay?" "No. I need to know what's going to happen. Your mother will be sad until she gets it together. I'm letting her go. Can I stay with you?" "Of course." "So, what's going to happen?" "Well, I'll rent an apartment near Syracuse for 6 months. I just rented an apartment for a year in Major, Tennessee. It's near Little Rock. I want to spend some time with your great-grandmother. Soon I'll be leaving Kane, Syracuse and starting some new companies." "What about me, Dad?" "Son, you can live with me or pick a private school. I'm flexible. I'd rather be with you." "Dad, will we have a bunker?" "Probably. We have time to discuss this top to bottom later." "So, Mama's good. I don't have to do or say anything?" "She will be good. I'll talk to her in a few days, and you can ease into that when you feel comfortable." "Dad, I feel better. I'm going to eat some steak with my driver, Chris. We have 2 hours before the pre-flight stuff." Stephen went to his father's bank on his phone. He made everything even again. Laying the groundwork for proving he was responsible was part of his repentance. Chapter 32. Sam asked Bruno to stop the Jeep. He had to move around and change his wet clothes. The last 2 hours, Sam didn't even ask his uncle where they were going or how he got to the falls. During the drive, he set up all his logistics for the next few days. He had many more calls to make. It would be the hardest selling he had ever done. He texted Jill, "Stephen is at his grandfather's with Tim on Long Island." She texted back, "Who is this?" Sam thought she was going to have to wait on that. He was getting as much use as he could on Bruno's phone. They pulled over at the next rest stop. "Bruno, I need to be in Portland on Friday at noon, which means I need to get on a plane in Oklahoma City that morning." Sam had 2 days to get to Portland and 3 hours to Oklahoma City. "Bruno, tell me about the falls." He said, "My ride dropped me off next to the Jeep. I walked about 50 yards up the river before I could see you on the platform." "A ride brought you?" "Your father and I agreed that your friend Leonard would need a black and white analysis before he really hurt you. He outranks me, so I stood on the road, put out my thumb. Someone picked me up and followed my instructions." "Bruno, those last few sentences just brought up way more questions than I want to get into. I am assuming you are with me or following my lead until this is done." "Yes, what do you want?" Sam laughed. "I want you to shave that thing off." "Boy, the mustache goes rather well with the Jeep. Is it for sale?" "Bruno, after we hang out for a couple days, can you drive the Jeep to Chicago? We can dive into Leonard's blackness there. We just won't be doing any deep healing." "Son, I can't wait." The first flight out was to Atlanta. Before she booked a flight, Jill sat in the bathroom for an hour crying. Most of the time life came to her. She never had to decide what to do. It just happened however she wanted it. Traveling was always a mistake for her. It invited too many outside influences and distractions, which made her have to plan ahead and decide stuff. It took her the whole hour to start a decision. She was paralyzed about her leaving Stephen with his dangerous father and having to explain it to him. It would sound terrible. Jail popped into her head. She couldn't do it. Jill stared at her first-class ticket. Monica Spencer would get to Syracuse by 8 p.m. Her first real decision since going to college and moving out of Kansas. She was sitting at her gate when someone texted her that Stephen was on Long Island. It couldn't be Tim telling her. It wasn't worded right. And Sam was at the bottom of the falls near Wanda's pink Jeep. Jill thought, shit, this story would only get deeper. Stephen ordered half the menu. He was trying to drown out thoughts about his mother. It wasn't working. Stephen got up several times to cry. Chris seemed concerned, but really, they were still strangers. Stephen told her that his father was moving to Major up the road, and he might need to sign a contract with her service. She was impressed with this young kid. He seemed to know a lot about things. Chris imagined that the father was impressive too. The drive to the airport was short. She let him deal with his flight and whatever situation he was in. She believed him when he said he would see her again. The drive to Oklahoma City was a leisurely drive. They had a day and half to get to know each other. Sam did that on purpose. His plan was to end up in Chicago by Sunday, and it couldn't be rushed. Sam rented a large room at a Chicago hotel before he wrote down the logistics to get there. He still had his clipboard. Sam wrote down 6 questions that would lead each sale to a yes. It wasn't an item he was selling, but an idea that a person would take control of their life. The questions would lay out the path where each person would ease into a life-changing moment. Sam dialed the first number and started with an introduction. One sale would do the job, but selling 5 people would be a match made in heaven. Sometimes the challenge had a happiness of its own. The questions were scripted for Sam to cover himself if they were not receptive. Sam had Bruno pull over. He needed the rest area. His uncle's Spanish accent was getting to him. He might have to bring out the Domingo Felipe name for him. Bruno would get the joke, but Sam couldn't bring himself to even say it. "Uncle, I know what you were doing. It was funny for the first hour, but soon I'm calling you Domingo Felipe forever." "Yeah, Sam going down Route 40 with the DF. Oops, that didn't sound right." Sam laughed. "Yeah, fill in the blank with that one." Sam would make 8 calls today and another 8 tomorrow. Between the calls, he intended to learn more about his father and uncle. His uncle was vague on every topic Sam brought up. The father was off limits and other topics were half answered. Sam decided to shock the system. He used this technique when he had someone being stubborn for the sake of being stubborn. But when you're dealing with someone with years of experience, this was virgin territory. "Bruno, is it me? Every question I ask, you could be more conversational. Son of a bitch, we are supposed to be family. You came to help me. It must be important to you. You just don't think I can handle it. What is it?" The key to this hidden manipulation is to stop talking and let the uncomfortable person ease into a conversation. Bruno was quiet for many minutes. "Sam, yeah. What do you call that thing you just did?" Sam yelled, "I don't call it anything." Bruno stated, "I think you should call it the open your fucking mouth Bruno Domingo Felipe Dolly thing." Sam couldn't help but laugh. "Well, Bruno, what the fuck over? Are you afraid of my father?" "Sam, you had to go there. If I said no, that would be a lie. He's more powerful and miserable. You know how that goes. Explain more powerful with those limited words in your vocabulary. Funny, he has medical and spiritual healing. He just chooses to not use the spiritual. I just have the spiritual part." Sam's thing was working. "Fucking A. Bruno, we can learn from each other. Pull over and test my electrical current again." He pulled over and waited while Sam pulled out the gear bag he found on the ground in Spartan. He reached into the bag and grabbed a large metal chisel. Sam reached out with it. "Grab this." Bruno grabbed it and almost peed his pants. Bruno was perplexed. Yes, forefather, no more bone up the ass. Now Sam was going to give his uncle some of his own treatment of giving no information. He blew him off by making another call. Sam was on a roll. Chapter 33. Sam was up to a second successful sale. It was gravy or frosting on the cake, and he actually liked his uncle. Once they had an awesome meal and settled into a room, Sam would draw the line with Jill. "Sammy, I've suffered enough. How did you figure that out?" "I saw it at the jail when you were throwing the convict around like a rag doll. You didn't notice, but you both had your hands on the bars. The bars are grounded through the ground. I think you sent all his sins to hell the old-fashioned way, physics." Sam called Steven. "Steven, love you. How's lunch? You order everything on the menu." "Love you too, Dad." "Yep, everything. Cried through most of it. I'm ready to board. Thanks for the vacation at Gramps." I confirmed with him, and he's excited. He even took off from work for a few days. "What? You're kidding. Buddy, I can't say it enough that this will smooth over. I will get her back to normal when I talk to her tomorrow. We were attacked and collateral damage is expected. Me, you, and your mother came out good. Dad, you watched Steve yet?" "Not yet. I'm afraid to, but I will when I get to Oklahoma City. I met up with your Uncle Bruno. We have been discussing how to handle the dangerous. Can you download the rest of the files using your grandfather's supercomputer? I guess you can handle it." "Dad, pretty sad if a 12-year-old can't handle a computer." They were getting close to the city. They pulled into the first motel they saw. Sam unloaded and carried the bags to the curb while his uncle got the room keys. Sam waited and he texted Jill. Yep, he texted her a period and some quotes. This was their private joke when Sam was telling her he was drawing the line and had enough. She would probably get the message in the Atlanta airport. Bruno and Sam settled into the room to rest before they tackled some Oklahoma steaks. Bruno was in charge of the menu and the place. His uncle had mentioned that it was good to be back, and he knew the state, top to bottom. Jill was getting ready to exit the plane. She dialed Steve's number. Her going to jail was not going to happen. Any trouble from Steve, and she would turn him in. He never picked up. When she hung up, she received a text from that strange number. She threw up in the airport and sat on the floor. Her life was over. The drive to Kansas City from Memphis was an 8-hour drive. Add on 2 extra hours for Leonard's delivery to the Missouri National Forest. He was 10 minutes in when the spot appeared. Leonard still hated the Charger. You could see it a mile down the road, and it was loud. He sat on the trunk lid waiting for anything unexpected. Leonard listened hard to determine if he was ready to do this. He was 2 seconds from deciding when a phone rang in the trunk. It scared the shit out of him. No matter what you do, there is always a loose end. He grabbed the keys, opened the trunk, and dragged the body bag into this little ravine, 50 yards into the woods. Earlier, he bought the best shovel he could buy for the job. Leonard went to town on a hole. In the crevice, the dirt was soft, but the hole would be deep, just in case. Leonard knew how to dig from the Army foxholes and punishment digs. You know, the ones 6 by 6 by 6 foot deep. This hole would be half that size. He unzipped the bag and found the phone, wallet, and pocket contents. Now, he was sure. He packed the hole tight, covered it, and left the area. A custodian came and cleaned the floor. He saw Jill walk away shaking. She refused to call the number. He was dead. She heard the bullet hit him and blood was all around at the bottom of the falls. A strange phone calling her. This secret was going to break her. Jill moved along to her flight. She asked if she could board early. They gave her what she wanted. Sam called his phone. He had no messages. He knew Jill's flight got in later. He would clear things up. The video on Bruno's phone started. Sam watched and mourned the killing of Steve. Steve wasn't the greatest, but his father might have put a seed in his brain to eventually do the right thing. Today, Sam could tell he was trying. Arthur was trying really hard, and he was destined to be the king. Who was Sam to judge anyone? Sam followed Bruno down the street to a restaurant that was packed. They had a prime table and received exceptional service. The people seemed happy, but there were some jealous ones. Bruno ignored the callous ones. As the hostess placed them, Sam asked his uncle, "How do you ignore the BS and the retards through the ages?" "Sam, you enjoy the seconds and take one case at a time. But now I have more information about doing it differently, because you have the unique eye. We will have to confer and break bread together." "Are you delirious, or is that a quote from some poet?" "Sam, I'm hungry," and I butchered the line. Sam ordered 2 steaks and a pile of vegetables, tea, and water. Bruno ordered the same. "Really? Guy comes up to you and wants to punch your face in. What happens?" "Sam, it's rare. I'm short and no threat. But if it did, to be conversational, it's a sleight of hand thing. You deal with the bullshit, but ignore most of it. But like you said, when someone spits right in your face, no words need to be spoken. They know that you know is sufficient, because they really don't care anyway. I don't let everything go. Especially when the toll is high enough for waves of people to be affected. Or in Arthur's case, the major effect of one. I see a question brewing in there. It's a black and white, light glows and shadow thing." Sam was at a loss. "Sam, for example, you had a black shadow spike in your white glow when you fell off the falls. That could be hatred or fear. It could be a pent-up stress you've been keeping inside." Bruno explained, "I can see color patterns around people. Your wife exists where she expects things to happen without any effort from her. It's like the driver that sets their car on cruise to 65 and sits in the passing lane their whole trip. Another car could come on their right side, thus causing a blockade on the highway. They never pass or retreat because they couldn't be bothered driving on the rough side of the road. Sometimes they need to be edged off the road into a cornfield." Sam said, "So you're saying nothing really needs to be said? That the more they are oblivious about ruining someone's life, you do what is needed and move on. You could spit in their face. That universal language is clear." Chapter 34. For medium rare steaks and veggies never take very long. They were served before other tables around them. One guy was aggravated enough to comment the fact to them several times. "Bruno, is this the sleight of hand thing you were talking about?" Sam did his looking and wiping the sweat off his brow thing. Bruno lifted his head to look at the ceiling. "OMG, this is good." He sounded like a senorita. God, their material was good. In 4 words or less, Bruno had the irritated yelling 3 inches from Sam's face. "Who the hell do you think you are?" Sam sat there passing the test, because he was well aware the guy knew he was being a dick. Bruno just moved his fingers, and the guy looked like he slipped onto his back. He laid there until they were done. "Bruno, good job there, but I think it was the shoes and the preppy haircut that he couldn't take." They ordered 2 slices of pecan pie for good measure. Sam spoon-fed the guy on the floor. Now, Junior, next time you try that bullshit, you're going to be there till you shit your pants. You'll be changing your own diaper. The sun was setting on the way back to the motel. Man, they had a lot of time. They ordered room service, while Sam went to get another phone. By early evening, he was all set. He read his texts and got to work on the Chicago meeting. After 1 hour, he called the last 3 executives to cover his dessert menu for Leonard. All 3 were dedicated and still at work. With no gatekeepers, Sam sold the last 3. Wow, doing the hardest things first did work. Sam decided to call Max and the boy. He dialed his father's number to show his respect. Dad, son, I'm going to have a heart attack hearing about your shit secondhand. Leonard called you about the will? He did. It's all set. Final by early next week. So, I guess he just wants it all. Dad, Chicago meeting Sunday. You are going to want to be there. Changing of the guard. Be sure to wear your red coat and bearskin hat. Sam, you sure about that? I'll be at Kane's Syracuse for 6 months, doing half the work out of the office. We will be number 1 by then. I'll transfer to you after that. I'm clearing the deck for Arthur being the king. Shit, that granny can't be trusted. Dad, I want a corner office, hickory custom desk with hickory wardrobe and free parking. I may need a sales assistant. All that confirmed. I will let you in on my other adventures this coming year. Ballsack. Deal. That was funny, Dad. Boy's asleep. Call him in the morning. Sam said, info coming to Tim and you. Be ready. Around 10 that night, a cab dropped Jill off at the house. She was in hell. She went straight to bed and jumped at every noise. By 11, she jumped out of bed and called the number. A man answered the phone with a Spanish accent. See. Someone texted me from this number. Can I ask who this is? Let me introduce myself. I'm Domingo Felipe. Why did you text me? Is this Jillian Shepard? It's just Jill. I'm from the Little Rock Police Department. Jill doubled over. She couldn't breathe. She was sobbing. She heard someone else in the background. Jill. SS Sam. Why did you call? You drew a line against me. What did you do to me? There is no answer. So, you did nothing? I thought you were dead. Now you are saying nothing. Sam waited. I stole from you. To hurt me. What else? Sam waited. She started crying. I helped Steve find you. To kill me. What else? Sam was going to wait all night. I figured you would be dead. To make sure I was dead. Jill, bye. Steven's not coming back. Leonard drove home. Shortly after 10, he parked Steve's car on the left side of his garage. His flight left at midnight. He programmed himself to shave, shower, and dress in 30 minutes. He had a suitcase always packed in his spare bedroom. Leonard picked up the bag, and 3 steps out his front door was his ride. The driver knew Leonard. Hesitating or talking during the ride always cost him on the tip. So, Leonard arrived at 11 sharp. He grabbed his boarding pass. Sam sat down to figure out this Jill thing. He was good at creating something from nothing. Using simple rules he had in his head, he figured it out. At Kane, people would always give you 50 cents to get $1. Behind every company, his effort was to change their life. He changed Jill's life. Sam had been naive to think that he could survive, especially when he was giving her $1 for her shiny pennies. Chapter 35. It was midnight. He called Tim. Sam laid out the contract for Jill to get Steven back in her life. Back in the day, Steve gave Jill what she deserved, but Sam was not Steve. Sam would always walk away before he hurt Jill. Hurting her would emotionally hurt Steven. Sam asked Tim to deliver all the files he needed to make a movie, the one that would cover himself from the penny salespeople. Leonard, possibly Arthur, if they refused to do the right thing, would be penniless. Steven woke up at 6 a.m. It was Thursday morning. He wanted to start on the assignment his father would be giving him. He was excited. He picked a private school in Tennessee that he liked. Dad, you awake? I am now. I picked a school. Steven, we have to sit down and fit things together. Send me the information. I'll look at it. These next 6 months you will be at your regular school living with me. Dad, I saw Mother let go of you. That's another thing we have to talk about. Sometimes things are different than they seem. Regular school and same bunker until we smooth things over. Besides, you might not be able to leave the state. What's your grandfather say about this stuff? He says, boy, we have to noodle it out. Well, think about it. It will be noodles, sauce, meatballs, and other stuff. A whole new recipe and projects. Dad, I just don't want to cry anymore or feel uncomfortable. Son, I talked to your mother and started it already. You and Tim will be flying to Chicago on Saturday. By Monday, we will start the marinating and fixing stuff. Dad, what does that mean? It means I love you. Have fun with your grandfather and spend some of his money. Sam got up, showered, and got to work on his laptop. The room had a nice desk to work on. He lined up the tools: pen, clipboard, computer, and phone. Sam wanted to put in 2 hours before they would go to breakfast and cause more trouble. Sam certainly needed more practice not explaining things to the spitters. He would practice ignoring them with his clean jeans, nice shoes, and pink button-down. Sam looked at the expense account. The boy did some damage, but listened and added money to make it even. Sam didn't need any unnecessary bitching before the lawyers got involved. Next, he checked his bank account. He saw Arthur deposited his bonus and Dwayne cashed his check. First order of business was to set up an account at Kane Syracuse for Dwayne and Wanda. Sam took 10 minutes to start one and invest his money right away. Sam texted Dwayne about his new account. He instructed Dwayne to order a new black door for his apartment building with a security system. Sam would reimburse him on their first business together. He told him to get ready and reminded him about the poster and stencil before he showed up in a few weeks. Ernest was going to have to get on the program because Sam had a plan. One that included a private deck, 2 lawn chairs, a cooler, and meetings with the chief. Sam had to get creative. He needed to serve his 500 clients with limited time. From his office server, he downloaded his weekly download from the internet. The download was done by a program that downloaded information on 3,000 companies once a week. Sam took this information and linked it with his client list and the program. His client list was coded with the wants of the client. He took the client's wants, company activity coupled to the program, and came up with a list of purchases and sales for the next month. Sam sent this week's list to Dorothy to have the bullpen handle. The test was, if an employee complied, he would give them a portion of his clients when he transferred to Canestock NYC. Wanda was at a gym in Pennsylvania when Sam called her. "Hi, I'm on a treadmill. Give me a second." "Treadmill?" "Yeah, I'm getting my mind wrapped around the unknown jobs you want to give me." "Did I say jobs?" "You did give me a pre-bonus contingent on me agreeing to working for you in 2 jobs." "Ooh, sounds businesslike. I guess I'm going to have to really interview you, Wanda. First question, why is your skin so soft?" "It's the lotion, baby." "Shit, the lotion. Note to self, buy lotion." "Are you sure about me doing anything for you?" "Wanda, I'm always sure." "How many marriage proposals just today?" 3. If that doesn't prove anything, I don't know what to say. "You ready?" "Because I'm ready." "I'm not afraid of ready." "I need you to get a new wardrobe and an apartment in Syracuse. We can ship your stuff up next month." Sam gave her the name of the place. "One last thing. Don't take offense. Buy your dress pants 1 size bigger. It will cut down on harassment and improve your sales." "Sam, I do have some brain cells in my head." "I know you do, baby. I was thinking of the callous ones in their brain cells." "Sam, don't say it. Be ready." Sam texted her agenda for the next few days. Bruno and Sam left the motel for breakfast. Sam figured he better do some carbs. He was going to need the energy. They walked into the middle of the town and decided on a little diner. Sam looked around. No police station, bars, or cops carrying batons. He told Bruno, "Okay, this is good." He decided he was going to lay off wearing pink shirts for a while. The attention or abuse he received was getting old. On a positive note, he was wearing his black hat. That helped to tone things down. By next week, he decided to invest in some sneakers. People got intimidated by the shoes. Out in public, he would have to change his smartass attitude. But for today, he would have to take his chances. The waitresses were young and good-looking. Outside, Sam told Bruno to order for both of them. He was going to work on not investing any energy toward another person's negative energy. Sleight of hand and knowing not to give a damn was the key. They entered and sat at the first empty booth. Sam sat with his back to the door, while Bruno's mustache faced away from the diner. Bruno ordered waffles with strawberries and whipped cream, bacon, and juice. He told the waitress Sam would have the same. Sam had to pipe in, "No whipped cream or juice." "I'll have water and hot tea." The waitress left. "Bruno, I told you I wanted to be low-key." "Sam, got it. Low-key and not being able to take a joke. You know damn well we are targets when we are together. I am surprised most people leave you alone. You said you wanted the practice. You can't practice unless we force the issue." Bruno reached out and held both of Sam's hands. Sam bowed his head. You were such a dick. The next man that walked in told them to take it outside. It took Sam every ounce of willpower to not say, "Sir fucking, yes sir." It was good practice. Any other time he liked the challenge, but his hips still hurt. He wanted to get on the phone and really tell Jill what he thought. Sam could see his uncle's face getting warped and wound up. One of three knew you didn't want to take my last name. Sam thought, what the fuck over? Bruno sounded like a gay Spanish drama queen. Domingo, that's not true, said Sam. I give you everything. What's wrong with Sam Felipe? The waitress saved his ass by bringing up the food. Bruno took Sam's plate and walked out of the diner. Sam sat through the biggest torture he ever faced. He ate the waffle with the mile-high whipped cream. Every guy in the diner had a comment. When someone called him Felipe, he had to leave the diner. It could have been known as the whipped cream massacre. Bruno laughed all the way back to the room. Sam, we should go on the road. Even without sound, our faces look funny. You should have seen your face when they were heckling you. They sat in the room. Bruno, do you ever work anywhere? I've worked in a lot of places and most of the trades. Probably something's that low to the ground. Funny. Bruno, you want to work with me at Kane Syracuse? I mean, if the Kane family has nothing against you. Sam, I'll think about it. I'll let you know after the Chicago meeting. Chapter 36. Sam sat at the desk and made his final phone calls for the meeting. He started to doze off when his computer made a noise. He looked at the screen. The cold beer modem sent him a warning that someone adjusted his software. The new setup that Tim installed worked well. The camera system was also hooked up to the setup. Sam patched in and saw Leonard and the manager shaking hands. Since Leonard thought he was dead, he was moving in. Sam was curious to see how he got around his software. Leonard had his computer degree from KU. He had to be proud of himself for getting the better of him. Sam looked back about an hour. Leonard was in the administration office doing his magic. Sam started writing on his clipboard. He wrote down 4 areas to check. The software never had a password. Sam did this because he used a separate program to ensure it stayed the way it was written. Letting them in always made them drop their guard. Sam downloaded the adjusted software. It didn't take long because it was a small group of files. He ran bugging software to check the file's integrity. It listed the changes. One field, and a file was added to the group. After tonight's business, Sam would be able to tell what was stolen. The place looked good. The merchandise store was bigger. In several rooms, they had Jill's posters. Sam called Tim. Tim answered, "Hey, your father, son, and I have our tickets for Saturday. We fly out in the morning. The meeting's at 1 p.m. Sunday, right?" "Correct. That setup you put in cold beer works perfect. I also patched into the cameras. Leonard and Frank will be stealing shit tonight. Those fucks. Tim, you hang tough. I'm going in Friday morning to divert attention. All players need to show up Sunday. Get all your paperwork together to buy the bar. The diversion is firing Carlos. He'll come with me to Chicago. You okay with him getting a raise after he's reinstated at the meeting?" "Of course. He'll know the plan, right?" "Yep, it will be good training for the future." "Sam, since I'm the lawyer now, can I step in the ring?" "Sorry next time. But you will have them shaking. Leonard is mine. And I don't see Frank wanting to fight you." Sam went to the bed and laid down. He felt tired and depressed. Jill did a number on him. He started crying and could feel his body shaking. When Bruno saw this transformation, he got up and grabbed a small liquor bottle from the room supply. "Sam, look at me. Drink this. I'm going to take that job because you're going to need me for a while." Simple answer to this, pay attention, is to let her go. Straight answer is you're not like her. She can't understand you either. "Bruno, everything is broken. Sometimes you have to bring in an expert to fix some shit. Your father had to straighten me out a few times." Bruno reached out to Sam's forehead. He concentrated and touched him for a second. Before Sam fell asleep, Bruno said, "That expert is Arthur. He is just like her." At 2, Sam woke up. Whatever his uncle did, it seemed to work. He felt even. Without hesitation, he ordered plane tickets for himself, Carlos, and Frank. He texted Frank, using Max's email account, to let him know about the ticket and his mandatory attendance to the meeting. For the next 3 hours, Sam put together his movie from the last week. He had video and audio to go through, cut, and overlap. He put in just enough to encourage the characters to back off and comply. He put together several short clips for the meeting. Sam had this evening and one night before Bruno dropped him at the airport. Sam left Bruno to drive to the bank. He laid a $50 bill on the counter and bought 2 boxes of pennies. They were heavy. These went in the Jeep. Next, he bought a form-fitting long-sleeve shirt, sneakers, and compression socks. He was ready for the evening activity. During a side trip back, he picked up duct tape, water weld, zip cord, and a packet of connectors. Sam couldn't help but laugh. The second queen was in play. Sam felt better. The sleep and his uncle's cobweb cleaning of his brain did the trick. Bruno picked the same place to eat dinner. This time Sam picked out a white button-down shirt. He put on his new black sneakers and his hat. They were given the same table. Sam ordered the house special for both of them. He told Bruno to make some friends while he went to the bar. The drink order was simple, but Sam knew he would have to instruct the bartender. 2 Casanovas, please. Sam wanted to stick with the Dolly theme that Bruno had going. He was relentless. Today Bruno had on a yellow shirt, Salvador Dali's favorite color. For accessories, he had 2 clip-on earrings and a couple of short paint brushes sticking out of his pocket. What a ball buster. Tonight, the special was steak, fish, and a Chinese veggie thing. By the time Sam got back with the drinks, Bruno had invited 4 others to the table, 2 couples that had seen the antics last night. Bruno called our waitress and ordered 4 more specials. He gave Sam a quick wink. Tonight was Sam's turn to treat. Sam thought about his 2 choices, surrender or turn up the heat. He decided to talk about the life of a gay world-class painter, Domingo Felipe. It was such a joy to have a Felipe original on his wall. Sam told Bruno they had 4 hours to kill for dinner. They laughed, cried, and almost peed their pants. Sam had 10 people interested with 4 definite orders to invest with Kane stock, while he got 2 commissioned artwork sold for next March. Bruno, I guess you will just have to move in when I get a condo. I'll make sure it has a studio and endless art supplies. Sam, we are going to kill it. Sam thought, shit, how does he do that? He turned nothing, less than nothing, to him getting a free ride. It sounded like Jill, but he knew it would be temporary, and Sam really liked his uncle. His uncle could close a sale, and he shared the wealth. It was a match. Sam migrated into a room that had the old-fashioned games like pool and darts. He put his quarters on the table and waited. The restaurant patrons had all caught a whiff of their table. It was hard to miss. The positive people came to them, while the negative came here with their beers in hand. Sam wanted to be even with his positive energy and move into rapport. Laid back and less competitive was the first order of business. A simple poke with each conversation usually produced results. He wanted to turn the negative into a positive. First game up, Sam had a guy down on his luck. Someone that wanted to pick a fight, but really couldn't afford it. Sam kept a little pressure on him until he sunk the 8-ball. The guy, Al, threw his stick. What the fuck, Albert? Hold on a second. Sam paid the next few people $10 to wait a game, while he played Al again. Al, I won that game, but I'm going to let you break. After the break, you are going to tell me what's going on with you. The next game went smooth as they talked back and forth. Sam won the next game, but invited Al to his table. He told Bruno to go play pool. Sam ordered Al the special with tea and water. Al had employment and family problems, but had some success in the past. Al, the past is over. You need to look at the present and be able to think clearly. No more liquor. Sam called Dwayne. Dwayne, sorry about the interruption of your dinner. It's Sam. You happy so far? Hell yeah. First dude that ever listened to anything I ever said. What's going on? You need an ace mechanic? I need a part-time person. Dwayne, I need you to up the bar. You need a full-time person that's going to rent that large apartment downstairs. You are going to need the help in about a month. When we fill your place, you are buying another station and apartment building. What's their name, and when do they start? His name is Albert, and he will start the following Monday, 2 weeks before we have our first meeting together. Across the room, Sam could see Bruno was having complications with the negative clientele. He was or had been doing a little flicking of his earlobe for some reason. Bruno was spreading on too much Grey Poupon. Yes, as Sam walked up, homophobia was a real thing. This would probably be a count to 4 move. The blob started to rush toward his uncle. The timing wasn't right and his hips still hurt. Sam grabbed the cue ball and hit the guy in the head. 1-2. Just enough to get the guy's attention. Sam looked around. He was lucky the guy didn't have any friends. Sam picked up where Bruno left off. He played one more game, while I listened to his instructions and his future. Sam paid the bill and they walked back to their room. Bruno, how much longer are we going to do Salvador? Couple months to a year. I'm still feeling it. Besides, you'll need the joy and laughter temporarily. Hey, thanks for earlier. Bruno borrowed his no sweat off my brown move. You like that sleight of hand placebo therapy? What? You were such a dick. Back in the room, Sam wanted to crash. ETA to the airport was 4 a.m. But in order to live, he started his activity for the night. Sam unloaded the Jeep. He laid out the duct tape, pennies, water weld, and the clothes. Time to make some protective gear. Sam turned the shirt and socks inside out. He took a pair of scissors and cut off the feet of the compression socks. The altered socks would fit perfectly on his forearms. Sam started with the forearm guards. He used duct tape to be layered front and back. One side stuck to the cloth, and the layered other side, he would stick rows of pennies. Sam alternated these strips for comfort. When you placed 4 pennies in a square, he used the water weld to hold a penny in the middle. Half of one side of the sock would be covered. Sam would slide the guards on. When he held up his arms in a fight, the pennies protected his arms. He did the same to the shirt. Sam just covered the sides. A whole protected suit wasn't needed for the coming events. He envisioned using everything tomorrow night and Sunday. Sam and Bruno talked for an hour waiting for the stuff to dry. Bruno gave him age-old wisdom on his predicament. Sam listened intently as he stretched, moved around, and flipped on the bed. Bruno, in the finals, I need you to be my coach. Half of my moves will not work on Leonard. Son, watch and react to his severity. You live for the creativity that will happen. He thinks you will let him go. That will be your major flaw. If you let that happen, you've been lucky. Take charge throughout. Leonard has not seen any severe action toward him. He needs to feel the falling off the cliff. Sam wanted to feel the falling off the cliff. Once you get over the fear of the fall, you tend to look for it. Looking for that was dangerous. Sometime in his lifetime, he needed to fix that, before it was too late.